My name is Rico McGee, and welcome to the 500th episode of the Sports Minute. I just want to thank everybody who has supported me thus far. I want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who puts it on my heart every day and helps motivate me and allows me to use him as my armor through all the trials, tribulations, the things that I go through, the technical difficulties. Man, the Lord has just been my rock, and I could not do this without him waking me up every day. So thank you, Lord, for that. I want to thank my fans, everybody that supported me through 500 episodes. On this episode, this is going to be special, man. I've invited a few of my guests from the past back onto the show. We're going to talk Cavs. We're going to talk Browns. We're going to talk some Cowboys. And we talked a little bit of college today. So, with that being said, let's get right to it. Rico McGee, another episode of the Sports Minute. Not only another episode of the Sports Minute, the 500th episode of the Sports Minute. I couldn't have did this without y'all support, man. I just want to say thank everybody that's ever commented, that's ever left a like, that's ever just supported, whether you shared it, whether you liked it, whether you subscribed to it. We had 265 subscribers. We're over the halfway point to 1,000, to 500 subscribers, so I could officially join the YouTube partnership program. Please keep supporting 216 Sports Network because they almost at 1,000. So please, just keep supporting what we got going on right now, man. Huge shout out to the Straw Brothers Sports Show. Shout out to 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth. Shout out to Jason Richardson. The Jay Rich Show is coming soon. I just want to let everybody know about that. And before we get into this, man, I just want to give the backstory to how we put this thing together, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Mike Allen, one of my best friends growing up in Sherwood out in Bedford Heights, Ohio, he started doing the media thing too. He graduated from Ohio Broadcasting School. Shout out to OBS. Before he passed away, he left me his laptop. I was going to his studio pretty much every day, just laying down demo tracks because I was trying to get on at the radio station. When he passed away, he left me his laptop. I want to say about 3 weeks to a month before, the Lord called him home. He left me his laptop. I decided, you know what? I'm not good at celebrity gossip. I'm not good at giving out tickets because I'll keep the tickets and go to the show myself. I'm going to start a sports show. Thus, January of 2022, the Sports Minute was founded. The Sports Minute was born, as I like to say. From there, we've talked about football, basketball, baseball, boxing, golf, anything you could think of. We talk about it on the Sports Minute. We talk about things that a lot of people don't want to tackle. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's been a blessing to cover the Cleveland Charge, the Pittsburgh Maulers, and the New Jersey Generals of the United States Football League. It's been a blessing to talk to professional athletes such as Imani Bates, the rookie for the Cavs, Isaiah Mobley, Troy Williams of the Pittsburgh Maulers, Arnold Tarpley III, who recently signed with the Atlanta Falcons, and he's playing for the Falcons from the Pittsburgh Maulers. It's just been a blessing, and I'm telling you right now, we closing out 2023 with a bang. 2024, we going hard. And not even just the Sports Minute, man. The Straw Brothers Sports Show, 4th and 15, the Jay Rich Show, 216 Sports Network, we coming at you. And I got a big announcement that's coming, and I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet, but stay tuned because we're going to announce it. I got my brother, Ken Stroud, on the show, and we're gonna propose a toast.
First things first, toast to you, my guy. 500 episodes, that's an accomplishment. And I also want to throw in there a toast for Mike as well. Rest easy, brother. We know you up there looking down on Rico for sure. But congratulations to you on 500, man. A toast to you for sure.
Thank you for sure.
It's a pleasure to be here with you, man. Like you said, the Straw Bro Sports Show. You can check us out, me and little bro Andrew on the 216 Sports Network. But Rico, I'm so glad to be here on 500. This is, I think this makes 3 or 4 for me now on the Sports Minute. So I'm really happy to be part of 500, man.
Hey, listen, man. I couldn't have did it without you. I couldn't have did it without Mel and Ronnie. Couldn't have done it without a lot of people that just help build the show and make the show what it is, man. And stay tuned, because later in the show, me and my man Jason Richardson, we're going to talk some Cavaliers, and we're going to talk some NBA G League. I'm telling you right now, there is a lot of talent in the G League, and y'all need to know about it. So we're definitely going to talk G League, but that's later on in the show.
I'm excited for Jason to finally get on. You see me in the group chat, Rick. I've been excited to get Jason on. I'm telling y'all, Straw Bros, we hit college football. We talk about soccer. Rico touches on a little bit of everything. 4th and 15, what they bring you to bring in a really, really smart basketball mind and somebody who covers the NBA and the G League like Jason. Like I said, I'm excited for the network, and make sure y'all check that out, because I'm telling you, it's going to be good.
Going to be fire, man. Going to be fire. So, with that being said,
let's do it.
Let's get right into it. Let's talk about it. Washington and Oregon, Pac-12 championship last night. Back and forth dogfight. Rematch from earlier this season. Washington pulls it out, 34-31 over Oregon. Michael Penix, is he a lock for the Heisman this year? I mean, he's definitely one of the finalists.
Yeah, he's definitely a finalist. 319 and 1 touchdown last night did Michael Penix Jr. But somebody else who wants in on that ceremony is Bo Nix. Okay, 293 and 3 touchdowns. So it's worth talking about what Bo did last night, because once again, Rico, these two teams put on a game of the year just like they did in the first one. But to answer your question, a lock, I'm not sure. Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr. of Ohio State. I actually think this might be one of the most wide open Heisman races we've had in a couple years.
Definitely. And Marvin Harrison definitely made his case. Despite the loss against Michigan, he put on for Ohio State. I mean, chances are they're not going to go to the college playoff with the Oregon win, but yeah, he had 62 yards and a touchdown against Penn State in week 8. I love wide receivers. Love Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin Harrison Jr. And listen, he's been my favorite player to talk about. And I know he goes to a school in which I like to give a lot of crap to, Ohio State. I love Marvin Harrison Jr. This absolute stud. The kid is amazing. He doesn't cause any issues either. There's no drama. Some of these high-profile college kids, when they come in, they can kind of bring some, look at everything going on with Caleb. There's none of that with Marvin Harrison Jr. Right. Okay, and it also helps when your dad was a pro. And not just a pro, a guy who played with Peyton Manning, a guy in Marvin Harrison who, spotlight was all over the place for him. So he was able to go, all right, son, this is the steps you take. These are the things you do. But, man, at one point this year, I want to point it out, Rico, Marvin Harrison Jr. was averaging 18 yards a catch. The man was almost averaging 20 yards a catch. So next level, you will see that dude on Sundays. That's not even a question. I don't want to see him on Saturdays anymore. Marvin, if you're listening, because I know you are, of course you're checking off the 500 episode of Sports Minute. Do not come back to Ohio State this year. Go get your big NFL bags, kid.
That's exactly what he's probably more than likely 99.99999% gonna do. I think this is it. He has nothing left to prove at Ohio State. I don't even care about the Michigan game. We're going to talk about Ryan Day as well. Jaden Daniels from LSU. Love Jaden Daniels.
Absolutely.
one of my favorite players in college this year. Definitely one of probably second in Heisman voting. Maybe. I haven't checked the stats, not completely sure, but he's definitely top 5.
Yeah, I can look up some live Vegas odds for us now as we talk. But I mean, dude, you want to talk about stats? You want to talk about some stats, man? This dude alone by himself. So I got to look up those rushing touchdowns.
That's all good.
50 total touchdowns, Rico. Between 40 throwing, 10 rushing. 50 total touchdowns. Come on, man. Your Falcons, you wearing that Falcons. You're going to tell me you wouldn't take a guy like that right now?
Yes.
What Desmond Ridder is actually supposed to be? Yeah, 100%. Whew.
Listen, Jaden Daniels definitely made his case for the Heisman. Only thing, you have to be stellar. Not saying that he hasn't been stellar, but I think they're going to count the loss against Alabama against him. And that's one of my biggest issues. You know, everything in college is about style points. Yeah. And you have to blow out a team like Alabama, supposedly, you know.
It does. He is your Vegas favorite right now. Jane Daniels is your Vegas favorite, followed by Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Jalen Monroe of Alabama has actually vaulted up. We talk about this all the time with me and Lil Bro. It's too little, too late. The kid has been playing amazing for the past couple of weeks, but it's just not enough. But yeah, Jane Daniels is up there. Michael Penix Jr., like you said, it's going to be a good. This is a must tune in event this year because we don't really know.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If Alabama beats Georgia today, does that catapult him to the top 3?
If Jalen Monroe if Jalen Monroe goes out and has a boss game against Georgia and leads Alabama to a victory, Jalen Monroe will be sitting in New York next weekend.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I definitely agree.
I want to say New York, but they have been moving the ceremony. So if I'm wrong on New York, I apologize.
Right. Yeah. Listen, should Alabama beat Georgia and he has a stellar game, because Georgia's defense has kind of looked, they've had their moments this season where it's like, oh, you better not do that.
That is the number 1 third-rate defense in the country, and that is a defense that only allows 17 points a game. But this is an Alabama team that's not going to only score 17. That's just not happening.
And you know what? As long as Nick Saban is at the helm of Alabama, you never know what's going to happen. I don't think they'll make it to the college football playoff, but they could definitely play spoiler for Georgia in some respects.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, we just talked about Texas before we went on air. Texas is beating the absolute crap. They're beating dog poop down Oklahoma State's leg right now.
Now, my Oklahoma State Cowboys, Ollie Gordon not looking great. Now, Oklahoma State does have a 2nd and goal, but it is currently 49-14 with 6 minutes left in the 4th. So Oklahoma State's going to need that touchdown, and then this needs to turn into NFL Street, where all of a sudden we're just throwing things off the wall and getting the ball back, okay? Because that's about all Oklahoma State's got.
That's probably what's gonna help Oklahoma State if they. This game is pretty much over. Let's be honest.
No, they did just score. Now, but still, a win a result that doesn't help Ohio State.
Does not help Ohio State at all, because Texas wins this game, then they have a chance to talk. Hey, we should be in here too. This is probably why they're probably going to move to a 12-team format at some point later on down in this decade.
I was so against. It's coming next year. It's coming next year for it, Rico. That 12 teams. I was against it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a purist. I liked 4. I think the format we have right now is really good. I would have expanded just to 6 personally, or maybe 8. I think 12 is a little too much right now. The reason I say that is because we're getting rematches. You know, Georgia's already beat Ole Miss. Alabama's already beat Ole Miss. So we're going to get some repeats, but then at the same time, Tulane or Liberty are going to get a chance next year to play for a national championship. And we've never given those little guys a really, really true, fair and square shot to get in and to make some noise. So I get it. And I mean, anything that gives my Irish a chance to be an easier and easier route to the college football playoffs, I'm voting for that, Rico.
Exactly. And looking at it now, man, Toledo, speaking of the smaller, Toledo is down by 2 right now.
This has been a great game, by the way. If you ain't been watching this MAC championship, you're missing out. This has been a great, hard-hitting game.
It's been so much talent in the MAC. Right now, Toledo is down by 2. It's 14-16. Toledo has the ball, second down and 10 at their own 32-yard line. They're trying to make a case. If I'm not mistaken, Toledo beat Miami earlier this season.
Yes.
Miami sits at 10-2. Toledo sits at 11-1. They're trying to make a game. I was watching a little bit of this earlier before I spoke with Jay Rich. Shout out to you, bro. Watching this show, and I was watching the game a little bit, and they were going back and forth, man. Let me tell you something. The Mid-American Conference, we've covered Akron. We've seen some of the talent. What do you think about the MAC championship?
First, I've had this one on. I've got it on currently behind. I've got 3 TVs going on behind me. Everything's on. I'm watching my Manchester United for all the Stratford Sports Star fans. The MAC is full of talent. There are going to be a lot of guys playing in the NFL that are coming from the MAC this year, mark my word, and in the next year or two. This game has been a good back and forth. Miami jumped out to a 10-0 lead and looked like, they were going to run away with this. Toledo was smart. They were able to score right before half, get the ball back, score again. So it's been a close game. I don't want to do any spoiler alerts, but Miami of Ohio is breaking a large run down the field right now. So they're going to try to ice this game. But this has been a great representation of MAC football. I love that in a championship game, sometimes there can be blowouts, but sometimes the games aren't great. This is a great game showcasing the MAC. I love it. And yes, we've covered Akron. We covered the Rubber Bowl, the Rubber Bowl. We covered the Wagon Wheel game. We covered Akron versus Ohio. We've been, touching on the MAC all year. The MAC is quality, man. The MAC, this is not the Jim Tressel, I'm going to bring in some MAC teams to give them some love and some money. These are quality football teams, man. They really are.
Definitely. One of the players I was telling y'all to watch out for in my YouTube short, Rashad Amos, currently 11 carries, 61 yards and a touchdown. And he's only a sophomore. So give him another 2 years, because I think he's going to stay all 4 years. He may be one of those unsung products coming out, going into the NFL draft this year, man. I like Rashad. I like this kid a lot. He had a hard run at the beginning of the game. Toledo, I really like, DeQuan Finn.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Been excellent this year. Been excellent as their quarterback. Right now, he has 211 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 14 of 27. You really can't say enough about the Mid-American Conference. No. Can't say enough.
Mm-mm.
And one of my biggest things with the Mid-American Conference is they may not get a lot of love because of the power. Well, the Pac-12 is pretty much over with. It's probably going to be a Big Four football power conference with Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12. Because the Pac-12 is pretty much gone. But
I would go ahead. My bad. My apologies.
No, it's okay. With that being said, do not sleep on the Mid-American Conference. I mean, they produced Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Gates, who's a Hall of Fame candidate. Mark my words.
Absolutely. Julian Edelman. Kent State product. This is what I respect about MAC football too. During some of this expansion and conference collapse and growth, there have been some small schools that have automatically just gone, I'm jumping ship. I'm trying to get anywhere that I possibly can so I can get some more. The MAC has always been, we're the MAC. You know who we are. We're respected. It might be a Tuesday night. It might be a Wednesday night. It might be a Thursday night, but we own that. If you're watching college football during the weekdays, you're watching MAC football. Miami of Ohio did just score, just to keep you updated. So they're going to probably run away with this now. Shout out to Toledo, though. Toledo was playing their asses off. But the MAC football has always said, we're the MAC. We're respected. You want to come. You want to leave. But we're our own brand. And I respect that. They will eventually, I think, when college football finally does what it should, and that's go to 4 to 5 mega conferences, I think somebody's just going to eat the Big Ten should just absorb the MAC. You're going to tell me that the winner of the MAC championship, you're telling me Miami of Ohio and Toledo can't go back and forth with Rutgers and can't go back and forth with the bottoms of the Big Ten? Bull. I call absolute bull on that. All right. Some of these MAC teams are way, way better than they're given credit for sometimes.
Exactly.
Shout out to my Bowling Green Falcons, a big bet winner on the Strawbro Sports Show this year.
You know what? Shout out to Bowling Green, man. Shout out to Bowling Green. I think, honestly, when you look at the Mid-American Conference, man, I mean, Ohio University made a big case. They just couldn't get over the hump. And they probably would have made a pretty good opponent for Miami of Ohio playing in this game this year. Listen, they came back from 11 down and then won by 11 in the last game of the year against an Akron University. But don't sleep on Akron either, because they have a lot of talent as well.
This Toledo team won in a bowl game a couple years ago, or just a year or two ago. Like I said, the quality teams coming out of the MAC. Absolutely.
And they're still bowl eligible.
Mm-hmm.
Toledo. So despite losing this game and despite, not having the bragging rights to call, this season, they're still bowl eligible. Miami of Ohio is bowl eligible.
And I guarantee you, come bowl time, these MAC teams will upset more than a couple teams who think, oh, it's a MAC team, I'm going to run them over, and they're going to show you that they won't. And
exactly. They already dominant. They're already a solid basketball conference. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Northern Illinois and Eastern Michigan are bowl eligible as well. So you have a couple of teams that can go and make, improve. Hey, listen, we MAC football. We're here to stay.
And they're not going to skip on the bowl games. They're not going to go, no, thank you. They're going to absolutely accept those invites. And like I said, they're going to go in some. They're going to shock a couple teams, and they're going to bully some teams who aren't ready for them. So yes,
exactly. Well, with that being said, we look ahead to the two big college games: the SEC championship, Georgia and Alabama, and later on you got the Big Ten championship with Michigan and Iowa. I have a hot take for y'all with that Big Ten championship game that a lot of people may not agree with, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. But first, let's get to Georgia and Alabama. Who do you have winning this game and why?
Ooh, you're going to put me on the spot. Well, the first thing, and I touch on this all the time, shameless plugs all around for the Strawbro Sports Show. I apologize, Rico.
That's all good.
One of the things I love are overs. I love me some overs. So first of all, the 55.5 that this was a couple days ago, I will check real quick as I'm running my mouth. But I love the over on this game. First things first. I think both of these teams are going to light it up. I think overs is a big theme this week. It usually is in these championship games. Although shout out to Miami and Toledo, who that under is 44, and they are both currently sitting at 37. So they're flirting with it. Man, I roll tide on the Strawbro Sports Show, so I technically can't do this and go back on that now. So I have Alabama technically winning in all my passion and my fired up. The reason I think Alabama could win was strictly for things that were non-stats. All the stats lead to Georgia. I mean, 17 points a game given up. They score over 30. They've been solid. They're peaking at the absolute right time. They score over 40. I apologize. This Bama team does score 36. Dude, we've not had a college football playoffs where Nick Saban and Alabama don't win a national championship every 3 years. This is the third year. So if you're telling me it's not going to happen, that's fine. But I'm going to need this. This is one of those things where I need to see that to believe it. Because other than that, I'm going to roll with Alabama. I know Georgia's hot. I know Kirby Smart seems to have Georgia's number and have Nick Saban's number. And man, Rico, you know what happens every time somebody thinks that they have Nick Saban's number and they think they've ended this Alabama dynasty. Alabama rises up and whoops everybody's ass. So I like Alabama here.
I respect that. And I understand where you're coming from. Listen, I got family that are fans of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I got family in Alabama. My little cousin graduated from Alabama. I got on Falcons gear. I may as well pick Georgia, right? Yeah, I'm going to pick Georgia. The reason why is this. I don't think people understand that there is a rivalry between Georgia and Alabama that has existed for a very, very long time. Listen, looking at the stats, the all-time series, Alabama leads 42-26 with 4 ties. Georgia, with the last win, the last time these two teams met in the national championship, Georgia won that game 33-18. These two teams do not like each other. And I think Georgia is fed up with Bama. These two teams hate each other low-key. I'm going to go with Georgia just because I think it's Georgia's time. Alabama just has not been the same when you bring in the NIL deals. Nick Saban not wanting to cooperate. It's been a little tough. Plus, you know, I think Georgia studied that film of Alabama against Texas, and I think they're going to roll with that. I think it's going to be a lot that comes into play. I'm going to go with Georgia. I'm going to go with the Dogs.
I respect it. I just want to kind of let everybody know because you're going to be watching this and running this back. We're watching Texas celebrate on the field now as they lock up the Big 12 championship. Yeah. Shout out to Texas. So Texas one step closer. I'm not going to be mad if Georgia wins this game and my prediction's wrong because I think this is a very, very close game. I don't like the points on either side of this. I don't like the 6.5. I don't like any of that. I'll tell you an updated spread currently. It's 5.5. Georgia's favored by. Don't like it. I mean, I know a touchdown's easy. I think this is another really close game. That over-under is sitting at 53.5 right now. Ladies and gentlemen, go touch that. Go sprinkle on that. I agree, though. I don't think Georgia is here, man. Georgia is – picking Alabama is not saying in any way that Georgia is bad because they are not. I like the way Alabama's playing, but there's always could be a letdown after a big win and coming off a 4th and 30, basically, and a Hail Mary throw to win the game. You can absolutely be let down. And like I said, if you don't think Kirby Smart's got that locker room ready to go, man, you don't know college football because Georgia will be more than ready.
Exactly. Don't think that just because Nick Saban, listen, Nick Saban has always been a chip on his shoulder kind of guy. They're not the favorite going into this game. So you better believe that Alabama is ready to come and shock some people and piss some people off and cost some people some money if you picked against them, right? Kirby Smart is the same thing, is the same way. Kirby Smart is the same way. Listen, my man Romel just messaged me, man. Shout out to Romel Thorpe, owner of the 216 Sports Network, 4th and 15, Whip, Mel, and Smooth. He just messaged me and asked me, what if Iowa upsets Michigan tonight? And I've been saying that. If Iowa wins this game, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. And I'm going to tell you why. Hold on 1 second. As soon as my damn phone loads. Deacon Hill. Deacon Hill. He's been kind of up and down. He's a sophomore. He's had 976 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, a QBR of 22.4. That's 127th in the country, right? Not very good. Not very good.
I mean, this Iowa defense gives up 12 points a game. Now, it is absolutely fair to make fun of their offense and to complain about how anemic it is and that it couldn't score against a high school defense. Like, I get all of that, and it's justified. They give up 12 points a game. That's their identity. Teams that play good defense, okay? You can have an offensive explosion. Iowa's had games where they've scored 30, 40 points this year. They've covered some spreads. They've done so they can score. Now, that was before they had a lot of injuries. They've had like 3 tight ends go down. They've lost 2 quarterbacks. Like, they have been hammered, and I get that. But if that defense shows up to play and that defense plays and gives up the 12 points a game, man, Iowa can be here. But Rico, Michigan is hot as hell right now. Lava ain't as hot. Okay, I was just playing the floor as lava with my son. Okay, the floor was not as hot as Michigan is right now. Okay, that team is on fire, and now they get Harbaugh back, which is a big X factor. But I do agree. I don't think the score might turn around in the fourth quarter. Maybe Michigan pulls away in the end, but this is not about to be a blowout. Cue the blowout.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either, man. This is going to be a close dogfight because once again, people thought that Michigan ain't played nobody good. And they beat Ohio State. Had he caught that ball, had he not thrown that pick, Ohio State probably would have won that game. But Michigan won nonetheless.
They did.
Still got to play Iowa. And Iowa's defense is too talented and too good, especially on that back seven, to let you just have your way with them.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I want to point this out too, because listen, Notre Dame got a lot of shit because when they lost to Ohio State for having 10 men on the field and not calling a timeout. Do you know why we didn't call a timeout? Because I'm not giving that Ohio State offense 2 clean chances at the end zone. They would have scored anyways, and they would have scored on Michigan. They would have scored on Michigan. Okay, now Michigan got the hit on the quarterback, like you said. They got the turnover. They win the game. But that's not a team. Every fan in that stadium was going, "Oh no, they're gonna do this to us like this." All right, so yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think the biggest thing, this is going to be a battle of the defense. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a low-scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is going to win this game?
Personally, like I said, I understand all the ways that Iowa could do it. The reason I love college football so much, Rico, during the week before the Ohio State game, it was Michigan Penn State, and game day zooms in and they're showing Michigan show up and they're showing them practice on the field, and Herb Street goes, Michigan got those maize pants on, looking to bring all the luck out. And I said, that's why I love college football, because wearing yellow pants was going to bring you good luck. Wearing a green jersey was all of a sudden going to make you that team this week. I am all here for that junk. I'm all here for that nonsense. I think Michigan is a team of destiny right now. I don't think there's any chance Iowa stops them. And here, I'm going to go even further. Now, we don't know matchups yet. I think if Michigan gets anyone that isn't Georgia, Michigan will be in the national championship game. I think this is a team of destiny right now. That's how high I am. Not necessarily do I think J.J. McCarthy is a top quarterback. I do think Blake Corum is a great running back. But just when you put all of that stuff together and Jim Harbaugh and the actual Michigan versus everybody story that they have going, dude, goosebumps. I'm hyped for it. So yeah, give me Michigan all the way.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I played NCAA football with Michigan one time, and I said, this is pretty cool. So I'm humming the theme music. Dun, 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 dun. No.
Terrible.
No.
Terrible.
No.
Ooh.
Hot take. Iowa's going to win this game. And if this doesn't age well, I'll stay off.
We'll clip it out.
I'll stay off social media. If this does not age well, I think Iowa's going to win this game. I think that Iowa defense is slept on. I think they're pissed because they're slept on. And I would not be surprised if they find a way to stack that box and shut down that running game of Michigan, because Michigan relies on that run game with that running back and that talent in the backfield. If they can shut that down, those receivers ain't got a chance. And I'm going to go with Iowa to win the Big Ten championship.
Hot take alert. I like it. Like I said, I like it. I don't necessarily agree with it on the pick side, but you make a good case, man. I'm in on it.
And I'm going to be honest. I'm glad I'm not betting money, because if they fuck around and lose this game, I'm going to be pissed and lose money. Shit, I paid the rent and my phone bill this month. So with that being said, I'm just picking Iowa to win this game. I want to take this time right quick because I want to cover some HBCU football. The SWAC championship preview. They're gonna be playing in about 14 minutes approximately. Prairie View A&M versus Florida A&M. Winner will receive a spot in the Celebration Bowl. Prairie View averages 28.7 points per game to finish the season. Trazon Conley didn't do enough to win games during that stretch, only compiling 710 yards of total offense. That's going to be the big story heading into this game for Prairie View A&M versus Florida A&M. They're not scoring anything less than 23 points at any point of the season. Matter of fact, they average 30 points a game. This is going to be a solid game. Jamari Shreve, excuse me if I'm pronouncing his name right. If I'm not, please forgive me. 713 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns, while Marcus Riley is racking up 666 all-purpose yards along with 4 touchdowns. But the defense has kind of left a lot to be desired. They're averaging 24.4 points to SWAC opponents. Linebacker Keyshawn Johnson, though, 79 total tackles with 5 tackles for a loss. And Derek Ray, who's on the defensive line, has 38 total tackles with 10 tackles for a loss and 4 sacks. That might be able to help Florida A&M versus Prairie View A&M, who is 1-0 all-time in the SWAC title game rematch. But that only match was 14 years ago.
Right.
Biggest thing for Florida A&M is can that defense stop Florida A&M's 19-game win streak, home win streak? They're going to have to start out quick, and they're going to have to punch Prairie View in the mouth. This is going to be a tough game.
Absolutely. So, hey, we're going to hit this one. Terrell Jennings.
Yes.
Okay? That's okay. 8 carries, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns versus Bethune-Cookman. Okay. There's your key. There's your key there. Okay. He has a big game, and I think Florida A&M can upset this. Yeah, I'm giving you some. I'm in on the SWAC, baby. Let's go. All right.
No doubt.
I got love for the SWAC.
You love college football, so it don't matter whether it's HBCU, PWI. Listen.
Absolutely, man. No. I agree. That 14-game home winning streak, though. Is it 14? Did I say that? Yeah, it is. Oh, no, 19. I apologize. 19 home game winning streak. Everything's got to end eventually, right?
Now, this is going to be a neutral site, but I still like Florida A&M if they can slow down that run game. If they can't slow down that run game, FAMU is going to run all over this thing.
You know, they get Tallahassee, Florida.
Right.
Technically, it's home, you know, that's wrong on the stadium, but you understand what I was saying. Right, yeah, listen, right. This is going on one of the TVs too. Okay, we not missing out on this.
Not at all. Not at all. I really like FAMU. If Prairie View A&M can run the ball efficiently, if FAMU can't find a stop to run the ball, Prairie View A&M is going to take this thing. Definitely going to take this thing. But that defense is all going to come down to the defense. As far as this game goes, give me Prairie View A&M. I think they find a way to win this game. Find a way to win this game.
I like it. I'm with you.
I think Prairie View finds a way to win this game. Plus, I got a friend of mine who does not like he went to Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman and FAMU is a big rivalry.
He's out.
So, yeah. He doesn't want FAMU to have anything. Right? He's going to pick Prairie View, and I'm picking Prairie View to win this game.
I like it.
Okay. Well, with that being said, that's the SWAC championship. It's time to go pick some NFL teams, if you will.
I'm with it.
Week 13 pick'em. Your Dallas Cowboys, before we start, your Dallas Cowboys knocked off Seattle in a high-scoring affair. How are you feeling about that?
That is the excuse me. Your beep helped my cough. That is the happiest I have been after a Cowboys win this year. Because we did two things. Two major things happened. We beat a decent team, regardless of record. Seattle is a decent team. And Dak made it happen in the fourth. That we were down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Dak brought us back. As a Cowboys fan, everybody's jokes are not jokes to us. We live this. We know it. We gulp and grasp and shake our head every time Dak goes back to throw some of those long passes because I don't always know where the hell they're going. I'm not going to lie to you. But I was very happy. I was impressed with the defense. I know they gave up some points. I know they gave up some scores. You're not going to beat everybody in this league 33-0 and only give up 0, 5, 12, 17 points. You're not Georgia. Okay, this is the NFL. So to win a game like that and to make some stops when it counted, we them boys for another week, baby. Just for another week.
Much respect. Much respect. So let's start it off. Colts versus Titans, a battle in the AFC South. Supremacy. What are you thinking right now?
The Will Levis, Gardner Minshew, heavyweight quarterback battle. Okay. Colts winners. This is a game where something has to break. Colts are winners of 3 straight, but Gardner Minshew has never won straight 4 games as a starter in his career, and the Titans have yet to win 2 in a row this year. So something's got to give. I personally, I kind of like the way the Colts are playing. I'm not gonna lie, but at home, I think the Titans defense can do it.
I think the Titans defense can do it too. I think you give me the Titans over the Colts. That what you like?
Yep.
Okay, bet. Colts over Titans. Bet. So, with that being said, Falcons with a huge win last week over our arch nemesis, the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, you never know what Falcons team is going to show up. We lost to the Cardinals, and I was pissed. Almost threw things in my house. I was that mad. But then again, Kyler Murray came back. A lot of good players came back, but we'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm a Falcons fan. I think we're going to ride that wave of that New Orleans victory. Give me the Falcons over the Jets.
I like it. I think my only note was to ask you if you thought that your Falcons could get it done against these lowly Jets.
Listen,
Jets defense is still playing good, but the New York, they can't move the ball. They can't score. Even when you're limited with Ritter, you still can score. I think the Falcons can get this done.
I think so too. Hopefully they get it. Hopefully they get it done, man. Listen, we're still a young team. We're still learning. We're still developing and things of that nature. So give me the Falcons over the Jets. Detroit Lions, New Orleans Saints. Who you got?
Lions big. I know the Saints offense. I know the Saints defense can play well. The offense has been all over the place. I think the Lions are gonna bounce back. I think they're gonna or not bounce back. I think they're gonna get rolling again, and I like them. I know they lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving. I think Campbell's gonna get these boys hungry again, and yeah, I like the Lions to go into New Orleans and get a win and give you and help you increase that NFC South lead.
Yes, if they can. Listen, if Detroit find a way to lose this game, I'm going to be pissed because I'm like, listen, we're first place in the NFC South. If we win the division, it's probably going to be by default. And I'm okay with that.
Playoffs is playoffs. I don't care how
playoffs. I don't care how you feel about it. Give me the Lions over the Saints. Find a way to win this game.
Absolutely.
Because you never know. I mean, Michael Thomas is on IR. Derek Carr hasn't performed. I defended Derek Carr until he went to the Saints, and I'm like, Now I'm about to dog you because you went to the Saints.
Wrong. Hey, Michael Thomas on IR again for I
Right,
think the 5th, 6th time in his career. This has just kind of become a thing with Michael Thomas.
right, right. So, with that being said, next game, Broncos and Titans. Who do you have winning this game?
This is not a couple weeks ago. We would not have been like, man, this is a great quarterback matchup. CJ Stroud versus Russell Wilson. This is must see. CJ Stroud is that dude. Okay. We don't need to talk about NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year because not only does CJ Stroud have it locked up, I think that he should be in the MVP talk as well. That's how well I think CJ Stroud is playing right now. But the Broncos are riding a 5-game winning streak. And to be honest, that's it for me. I think the Broncos have clicked. We've said this defense was supposed to be good. They're playing good. We said this offense was supposed to be better. They're playing good. After the big win against the Browns last week, yeah, give me the Broncos. I like Houston. All love to CJ Stroud. I think it'll be a good, clear, good. I think it'll be a good, competitive back and forth game, but I like the Broncos.
Give me the Broncos as well. I think Houston is still a young team and they're still learning, still developing, still growing. I think too much experience with Russell Wilson and that Broncos defense. Give me the Broncos over the Texans. Not San Diego. LA Chargers over versus the New England Patriots. Who do you have winning?
Ooh. Listen, man, I don't care if it's Bailey Zappi, Zeppi's Pizza, Mac Jones, John Jones, Jim Jones. Their quarterbacks are bad and their offense is horrible. But the Chargers defense is also dead last in the NFL. But the bad offense it's not great here. Justin Herbert, I think, is the difference maker. I know Bill Belichick is 11-3 against the Chargers with the Patriots. I think that goes to 11-4. I think Herbert and the Chargers can get it done. I will say, if they don't, Chargers better fire Stanley.
Right.
They've got to. They've got to make a change if they don't win this game.
Give me, you know what? New England's offensive coordinator has to go. Mm-hmm. He has to go. Give me the Patriots over the Chargers because I feel like a mistake will be made, and I would not be surprised if New England finds a way to win this game because it's Bill Belichick.
I wouldn't bet on this game if you gave me free bets. No, thank you, man. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Oh, man, that is funny. Pittsburgh versus Arizona. Who you got?
Steelers offense is back, baby. 421 yards and 16 points after firing Matt Canada. I think the reason I want to take the Steelers is more not because of the way Pittsburgh's been playing, but because I think Arizona is in the Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., Jaden Daniels sweepstakes. So I don't think they want anything to do with winning. So give me the Steelers.
Yeah, give me the Steelers too. I think the Steelers, they're second in the AFC because, well, actually, it's a tie between them and Cleveland. I think they're both tied for the second place. I think Pittsburgh really wants to just get to the draft and build that offense a little bit more because they need a quarterback because I don't think Kenny Pickett is it. I'm going to be honest with you. And Tom Coughlin is coaching for his job at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Pittsburgh over Arizona. Washington Commanders, Miami Dolphins. Who you got winning?
Washington's a punchy team. They've been in some games. They were in some games they weren't supposed to, but the Dolphins got the number one offense in the league. We know how good it is. I know the Washington, they did to fire their defensive coordinator this past week. I don't think it's enough. I think Washington is also in tank mode. So give me the Dolphins big here.
Give me the Dolphins big too. It's nothing to talk about at this point. You already know who's going to win.
Right.
Carolina and Tampa Bay. Who do you think is going to win this game?
A couple weeks ago, I would have had no problem saying Carolina, but it is a mess in Carolina right now.
Right.
They're going to the top of the draft. Obviously, they're not going to look for a quarterback. I don't think Bryce Young has looked bad in any way. I just think they are in shambles there. I don't think the coaching staff was any good. I don't think a lot of the skill positions are very good. And the defenses can't just do it all himself. Give me Baker touchdown maker. I think they can rebound. I think Tampa Bay can respond. I think Tampa Bay gets the win.
Give me Tampa Bay over Carolina as well. I think deep down, Tampa Bay is still fighting for a playoff position, even though, let's be honest here, Tampa Bay is 4-7. The chances of them making the playoffs are slim to none. But give me Tampa Bay over Carolina. Now, the NFL game of the week. Philadelphia, San Francisco. Who do you have winning this game and why?
A tie and a power outage? I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan. You could not bring me an NFL game of the week that I could hate more than this one, okay? Like, seriously, could it end in a 0-0 tie? Philly, I get it. They're riding high after the win against Buffalo. Jalen Hurts is playing outstanding. He's playing at an MVP level. The tush push is unstoppable. I get all of that. They should have lost to the Cowboys. They lost to the Cowboys because a knee went down a centimeter away from a ball crossing a line and Dak stepping out of bounds. That is the only reason Philly won that game. Cowboys went toe-to-toe with them. Buffalo went toe-to-toe with Philly, and they took it to overtime. I think San Francisco smacks Philly in the mouth, and I think San Francisco can beat Philly as long as Purdy stays healthy, and that's always the key for San Francisco. If San Francisco's healthy, they can beat anyone. When they're not, they can't. So as long as they stay healthy throughout the game, I think San Francisco can punch Philly, and I think they can hand Philly a much-needed loss that I need them to have.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think San Francisco wins this game because Philly keeps finding ways to win, but I think San Francisco's run game with Christian McCaffrey, I think they're going to be too much for Philadelphia to handle. So give me the 49ers over the Eagles, right? Let's talk about the other one. Browns versus the Rams.
This is great for me. I want to give a shout out to Browns fans right now. You are a tortured, lowly fan base. You have had so many bad things happen to you then on the field, and then they ripped your team away. That team wins the Super Bowl, and the quarterback who wins the Super Bowl for that team returns to your team to save your season. I guess. I don't know. If DTR was healthy, I think I would still pick the Browns because I think that I don't think Flacco can play quarterback anymore. I would be gladly surprised and if they can pull this off and they can make this happen. But I just with Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, I just think this Rams offense has a little bit more to keep going, and the defense can. Nobody's going to match the Browns defense, but I think the Rams playmakers can do enough. So I'm going to take the Rams here, unfortunately. I wanted to take the Browns really bad, but not with Joe Flacco. I tried
to take the Browns, man, but Joe Flacco just give me the Rams over the Browns. And I feel bad, you know, because I love all my friends that are Browns fans, but I'm going to be honest with you. I thought they had a chance to make the playoffs, but
prove us wrong.
Too many injuries.
Make us look silly on this one, please.
Yeah, prove us wrong, seriously. Give me the Rams over the Cleveland Browns to win when it matters the most. Tomorrow, Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs and the Packers. Give me the Chiefs. I'm laying it out there right now. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs offense is 8th overall. The Chiefs defense is 4th. Coincidentally, the Packers sit both 18th in offense and defense overall. So, I mean, that you're kind of getting even play from the Packers. The Chiefs are playing great. The defense is playing great. I know the offense has had some sputtering with some guys being in and out. Cue the Taylor Swift cut throughs. Travis Kelce has a big game. Give me the Chiefs.
Give me the Chiefs as well. I think the Chiefs just go out there, find, obliterate this team right now. Like, give me the Chiefs. The Monday night game, the Bengals and the Jaguars. I'm going to be honest with you. Trevor Lawrence is playing out of his mind right now. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Kansas City Chiefs. Tripping. not the Chiefs, the Cincinnati Bengals.
No, we understood you. I want to give some love to Jacksonville. They are making their Monday Night Football return after a 12-year drought. Shout out to Jacksonville, okay? Shout out to a Jacksonville fan who now gets to go in Tuesday morning miserable as all hell because they stayed up all night watching their team. Congratulations and welcome to the misery of having a good team that plays on Mondays and Sunday nights. We were robbed. This should have been Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence, two guys playing at MVP levels, two teams playing great, and then Joe Burrow gets hurt and the Bengals have kind of been up and down because of that. And being at home, having that return, I don't think there's any way Jacksonville loses this game. Give me Jacksonville here.
Jacksonville is not going to lose this game. I think with Joe Burrow being hurt, it's kind of hard for that offense to coordinate and come together like they should. Give me Jacksonville over the Cincinnati Bengals. Jacksonville will probably be 9-3 after the season, but 9-3 is good because the way they've been playing is lights out. Trevor Lawrence, they had their struggles in the beginning, but Jacksonville has been making strides forward, and I just like Jacksonville to win this game.
Calvin Ridley's been playing great too. So
yeah, Calvin Ridley has been playing great, hasn't he? Damn, Calvin Ridley. Listen, thank you so much to my man, Ken Stroud, for coming on the show. I appreciate everything that he's done. And what do you want to say before we get up out of here?
First of all, 216 Sports Network. I'm going to do all the shameless plugs first because then I do have something for you, Rico.
Okay.
216 Sports Network Facebook page. Like and follow us there. The 216 Sports Network YouTube page. Subscribe to us there. Like Rico said, we're at like 667, 668 on the followers there, or the subscribers there. We're trying to get us to 1,000. While you're there, you click right over to the Sports Minute, to the Rulers Minute. Like and subscribe and follow Rico there. You can get everything that you need there. The Straw Bro Sports Show, that's where you can find me and Little Bro on a weekly basis, giving you that college football, giving you that footy. We talk that soccer all the time, and we're going to start sprinkling in some college basketball. It's bowl season. You know what's going on there. 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth. Rico, I want to give you a toast. You know, you shouted out a lot of people that helped you get to your 500th episode. We got to give you some love and some shout out because the 500th episode doesn't happen with your hard work and your dedication to the craft as well. So you deserve as much of a pat on the back as you were giving out to everybody else. Salute to you, man. Like your 500th episode. So yeah, all the love to you, man. And I can't wait here to be here for 1,000. 1,000's even bigger. Wait till we get to episode 1,000 of the Sports Minute. That thing is going to be massive. So that is
definitely going to be massive because
thank you very much for having me be a part of it. I really, 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 truly appreciate it.
The 216 Sports Network is one of the biggest reasons why we have a 500th episode right now. I definitely appreciate everything that you guys have done for us, or for me. And don't ever think, I meant to tell you, we will be on site for Akron U basketball when they face Bowling Green on January the 6th. Myself, Ken Stroud, Romel Thorpe, Andrew Stroud, we will bring you the highlights of that game. And I sent you the link so you know what's going on as far as NBA G League is concerned as well. So listen, let me tell you something. We don't just do this for fun. We do this to prove a point. We are here. We're not going anywhere. We haven't been anywhere. And the Sports Minute, along with the 216 Sports Network, we're going to keep proving points to you. With that being said, I'm Rico McGee. This is my brother, Ken Stroud. We will see you in a minute. Rico McGee, 500. That's right, 500 episodes of the Sports Minute. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for all the support over the last 2 years coming up on anyway. I got a very special guest, man. This is one of my frat brothers, his sons, man, a very good friend of mine, very huge Cleveland sports fan. He wanted to talk about his thoughts on the Browns and the Buckeyes and all pretty much that, man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Cam Crawford.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Rico, for inviting me on. What an honor.
Oh,
Definitely an
man,
honor.
listen, it's an honor for you to be on the show, man. I really appreciate it. I'm happy you on, man, and thank you for being on.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, so first thing we're gonna talk about, of course, Cleveland. Where do they go now with all the injuries piling up? They didn't look good against Denver on Sunday. Pretty much lost in a big way. Myles Garrett looked like he wasn't as healthy, and he's listed as day-to-day with his shoulder injury. So my question to you is, what do you think going into their game, another West Coast game Sunday against the Rams?
First, yeah, we got a lot of injuries. First off, Myles Garrett's shoulder messed up. Quarterback situation is really messed up right now. DTR going out with a concussion. So honestly, I think we'll see a little bit of Flacco on Sunday. We could possibly see DTR as well. But I kind of think, to be honest, what I would do if I was Kevin, I would kind of run a quarterback by committee out there, to be honest, if I was Kevin.
Yeah. Okay. I think honestly, yeah, the quarterback situation, despite, losing Watson for the year, despite, losing Chubb, and the injuries all in between. I mean, to be 7-4 after all of that is definitely, a job well done. I think the defense is, you guys have the number one defense in the National Football League, and you're playing the Rams, and I'm not really, I don't know, the Rams have kind of been up and down this year, so I'm not really concerned about the Rams, honestly. I think they could go in and get the victory. I know Myles Garrett is listed as day-to-day with the shoulder, but Denzel Ward should be back, and a lot of those players on defense should be back and ready to go against the Rams.
Yeah, we definitely did take a beating on defense with a lot of players going out. Denzel Ward with that head injury, and as well with middle linebacker Anthony Walker. So hopefully we get those guys back, and the defense should be back like they've been.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, the defense should be fine, man. Defense should be fine as long as we stay healthy.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I imagine what this Browns team could be doing right now if everybody was healthy, because even though, in my personal opinion, I think Watson could have been playing a little bit better, but he's still learning, still getting his bearings, still getting used to that collision, that hardcore collision that football is. I think he had the Browns heading in the right direction, and he was making strides. You saw that when he completed 100% of his passes in the second half against the Baltimore Ravens a few weeks ago. I think this team could probably be maybe just like the Eagles, maybe 10-1 at this point. That's just my opinion.
No, for sure. I totally agree with you on that too. And playing quarterback is all being consistent, Rico, and we all know this. The more consistent you get, the better your team will be. So, it's just all about, getting some consistency at that position.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So they got the Rams this Sunday, another West Coast game. Historically, the Browns don't perform well on the West Coast. And even though this is against the Rams team who's probably in a rebuild right now. Cooper Kupp's not healthy. Haven't really paid a lot of attention to the Rams this year, but I know hold on one second. Let me pull up what their record is. LA Rams. Yeah, they knocked off an Arizona team who's currently in a rebuild mode themselves, 37-14. Came back and beat Seattle actually last week, just before the holiday. They're kind of on a little run, so it's gonna be interesting. But I think I like the Browns in this matchup. I like the Browns.
Okay. I'm kind of in between right now because I know we got the quarterback situation is a huge question mark. If our defense, we get our guys back on defense that were out last week, I think we'll be able to pull it away.
Yeah, let me see. Give me a 24-10 victory, Cleveland on Sunday over the Rams. I think they play solid. And I think depending on if DTR plays, Joe Flacco, who has the experience, he may get some playing time. Yeah, I like the Browns over the Ravens in this. I mean, excuse me, the Rams in this matchup.
Yeah, yeah. If our guys get back on defense, like I said, yeah, I'll take it. So I'll probably say I could see us winning like 21-13 or something like that. And
Okay.
I say that 21-13.
Definitely. All right. Moving on to the next topic. Ohio State laid an egg in the last, not even the whole team, just that pick and the interception that sealed the loss for Ohio State. And now Ryan Day is 1-3 against Michigan. So now everybody's calling for his job right now. My question to you, should the Buckeyes get rid of Ryan Day?
Um, I know everybody wants to fire him and stuff, but that's not gonna happen because of his track record with his success in the Big Ten against other schools. But me personally, as a fan, I don't really care about none of that. All I care
Mm-hmm.
is about beating Michigan. So, I mean, what I'll say is, I think if he doesn't get it done next year, I think they'll make it. I think they'll make a change.
I agree. I don't think they'll fire him this year. I think they go give him one more year. I mean, I don't think they should. They should fire him, honestly. I mean, despite being 1-3 against Michigan, excuse me, he's had a lot of success. I mean, he's 40-0 against the rest of the Big Ten. Only problem is he struggles not only against Michigan, but he struggles against top five schools in the country. And I feel like when Ohio State, since Ryan Day has been head coach, when he competes against teams that have just as much talent, if not more, than Ohio State, it seems like they fold. Not fold, but it's just the matchups are kind of a nightmare. So I think Ryan Day, they're not too far removed from a national championship appearance where they lost to Alabama. And then last year, they're a field goal kick away from playing in another national championship. I mean, when you think about it, Georgia versus Ohio State was the national championship because whoever won that game was going to annihilate TCU by 50 anyway.
Yeah.
Ohio State was just a field goal kick away from making the national championship. So, with that being said, I think they should give Ryan Day one more chance.
Yeah,
Everybody wants Ryan Day to do what Michigan, what Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer have done. Sometimes you get that one John Cooper Jr. that just can't get it done.
yeah, and I kind of look at the coaching styles. Those guys were, born in Ohio. They grew up rooting for the Buckeyes, and I just don't really think Ryan Day really understands, how we kind of, take this serious. I'm not
Yeah,
saying he don't. I'm not saying he doesn't take it serious, but I just don't think he has that, that born with factor in him.
I agree. I agree. There are times where I've seen Ryan Day just look. There are times where I've seen him look kind of clueless against Michigan, and it's
No,
like
yeah,
I don't know. It seems like I don't know if it's him or what it is so much with. I just don't understand, and maybe I just think, hey, listen, man. Sometimes you get that like I said, that John Cooper Jr. that just doesn't find success against Michigan, and I think if Ryan Day loses next year, it doesn't matter, what was done against the rest of the Big Ten. You got to do it against Michigan. And if you can't do it against them, you got to go.
yeah, and I think a lot of people want to bash Kyle McCord as well. But you got to kind of look at it. Kyle McCord he really had no business starting house.
Right.
We had Caesar Stroud. Not saying that Kyle McCord wasn't ready, but he definitely showed signs of being developed or really progressing during the season.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. So it's going to be interesting how these next couple of weeks play out, and in the off season, and who they bring in for recruiting, and whether or not Marvin Harrison leaves, which he'll probably leave for the draft, in my opinion. But it'll be interesting, to see how the rest of the season falls. Big Ten championship this Saturday. Well, this Saturday is championship weekend. Couple of important games. You got Michigan versus Iowa, Georgia and Alabama, national championship rematch from a couple of years ago. It's going to be interesting. Oh, Pac-12 championship rematch. Washington and Oregon. Who are your top 4 teams? Who do you think comes out on top and goes to the college football playoff?
I take Washington over Oregon, definitely. Shout out my guy Dan Lanning.
Okay. Oh, I think we may have lost him. Hold on. Technology is a mug, ain't it?
Yeah, they like to kick me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Washington over. I'm gonna take Oregon over Washington.
Okay. Oregon over Washington.
I'm gonna take Michigan over Iowa.
That's a given.
Easy. And what are other games you said?
You got Georgia versus Alabama in the conference. Georgia versus Alabama in the SEC championship, and then the ACC championship. You got Florida State and hold on. Florida State and Louisville, excuse me.
Okay, I'm gonna take Florida State over Louisville, and I think Georgia's gonna steamroll Alabama.
I think so too. My top 4 is gonna be, playing for the championship. Big Ten, Michigan over Iowa. Give me Oregon over Washington. I don't think Washington's gonna beat Oregon twice.
I think Washington is going to be like how TCU was last year, the team that had no business getting in.
Yeah, but yeah, true. Michael Penix is in the running for Heisman. I think he could solidify his Heisman position if Washington beats Oregon again. I think Oregon learned a lot, and I think they're going to improve, especially on defense, and they're going to find a way to slow down Penix. So I'm going to take Oregon over Washington. So that's Michigan, Washington. Give me Florida State over Louisville, and I don't think Georgia has had the Georgia's going to smack Bama. I don't think they're going to smack Alabama, but it's going to be a good game, and I think Georgia's going to come out on top. Yeah, and then the seeding will go as follows.
So, I've been hearing this a lot. Ohio State got in with with one loss last year. I don't think that's going to be the case this year, but you never know what happens.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that, Rico?
They're probably not going to. I mean, it's just way too much talent this year. Coming out way too much talent. I don't think Ohio State gets in this year. I think they needed to beat Michigan. Last year, it wasn't a lot of teams really that were really better than Ohio State. And now, to me, you've got a couple of teams. You've got Oregon still. Alabama is still – they bounced back completely after that loss to Texas earlier this year. You even got Texas, and you got the Big 12 championship. So, it's just a lot of teams that are looking kind of better than Ohio State. and have had, a better strength of schedule. And I think somebody will get in before Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State's going to get in the playoff this year.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. But kind of got to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Who do you think? What do you think?
Um, to me, I think the season's over. But me as like a fan, I'm still trying to have hope that we might sneak in there. But to me, I don't think we'll probably get in.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think beating Michigan, especially with all the trash that was talked about, Michigan being cheaters, this, that, and the third. You had to go out there and prove that Michigan, without the hand sign, allegations, you had to prove that you could beat Michigan. And when that didn't happen, it's like, okay, well, pretty much the same thing as last year, but you weren't facing as much talent last year as you are this year. So I don't see Ohio State getting back in the football playoff.
And then you gotta look. We had a Heisman candidate, C.J. Stroud, playing. So
yeah,
they probably look at the quarterback situation like, nobody wants to watch McCord in a big game. So
right,
wouldn't be no point in even putting us in.
exactly. So with that being said, we're gonna transition to basketball. Cavaliers fighting to move on as they continue the play-in tournament tonight. They got the Atlanta Hawks. They welcome them to town. Both Cavaliers are 9-8. Atlanta's 8-8. And even though Indiana already won the group and the play-in tournament is still confusing to a lot of people, they could win and advance to the knockout stage, but they're going to need some help. You think the Cavs get it done tonight?
I think we'll get it done tonight, but it's going to be hard for us to get into that tournament.
Yeah.
We need too many teams to lose, and we need too much stuff to happen for us to get in. So I'll say we'll probably miss out on that. But I think we will get it done tonight, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a chance to be the wild card team. I mean, we could clinch the wild card. Here's the scenario. We got to beat Atlanta and the Knicks. Miami, Boston, and Brooklyn have to lose their games. Or if we win and have a better point differential than any of the 3-1 teams, excuse me, New York is plus 18, Miami's plus 11, Boston is even, and Brooklyn is plus 8. It's a little confusing right now. So there's a chance, but I don't see the Cavaliers advancing past the group stage. There's just too much going on, but they seem like they're finding their stride now. I mean, they knocked off Toronto Sunday night. It's just about climbing. It's still early season, and the Cavaliers battled some injuries in the beginning, so I think they'll be fine. I just don't think they'll advance.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And another thing that I've been kind of watching is it doesn't look like Mobley is developing well. I've looked like he's taking some steps back. I mean, I know his role is diminished a little bit, but it doesn't look like he's getting any better from what I've been seeing.
You know what? A lot of people have said that about Evan Mobley, that he hasn't been playing well and he looks like he's taking some steps back. I just think it's hard to disagree with that, because it seems like whoever's in position isn't I don't know. I would have liked to have seen him improve as a scorer.
Yeah, that's what I'm really trying to say. I see him taking a lot of 15 footers and stuff, and just the shot doesn't look good at all.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, he could turn that around. But I will say this: Darius Garland has been playing out of his mind lately. Darius Garland looks really good, and he looked really good, when Mitchell was out. Actually, speaking of which, I just seen him at the Charge game last night. The Charge did beat the Grand Rapids Gold 102-92 last night. They look really good, but Yeah, this season, Darius Garland is averaging 19 points. He's shooting 48.5% field goal range, and he's averaging 5.5 assists a game. I mean, Darius Garland is looking really good this season.
Oh yeah, but the beginning of the season he kind of struggled a little bit, just a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
And he definitely looked like he's starting to turn it around now for sure.
yeah. I think he's finding his groove. The verdict, I know the verdict is still out with guys like Mobley and Okoro and um but it's still, it's still a process, still early season basketball. We still on football season anyway right now. So I think, if we continue to, give them a chance, let those guys, continue to develop, maybe we'll see something as the season progresses.
No, no doubt for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining the show, Cam. I really appreciate you, boss.
And I appreciate the invite, Rico.
No problem at all, man. Well, thank you for joining Sports Minute. Once again, this is part of the 500th episode of the Sports Minute. I'm Rico McGee. This is my man, Cam Crawford. And as always, we'll see you in a minute.
Yes, sir.
Rico McGee, man, the 500th episode of the Sports Minute. And guess what we doing right now? We talking to my man, Jason Richardson. He is a beat writer for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we're going to talk some Cavalier basketball tonight because I'm a fan of the Cavaliers. My man's a fan. We've been through it all. High school classmate as well, man. Shout out to Bedford High, class of 05. Jason Richardson, man, how you feeling?
What's going on, man? I feel good, man. I want to say thank you for having me on, but also congratulations on 500. That is a milestone, man. I couldn't be more proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, man. It's been a grind, man. Just just putting out episodes, looking, for storylines, and people are coming in and supporting every day, man. So it's definitely a blessing, man. And thank you for your support and being a part of the show, man.
Absolutely, man. Anytime, anytime.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna get to some Cleveland Cavaliers questions, man. And one of the biggest things that I'm hearing people say is Evan Mobley hasn't improved at all or whatever. He hasn't grown. And in some ways, I kind of disagree with that. I think he's slowly making strides. But my question to you is, what do you say to people who claim that Evan Mobley really hasn't improved offensively in the 3 years he's been in Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, I think people forget that Evan Mobley came in to the Cavs. He was 19 years old, man. And I know that there have been a few players who've come in and been, immediate impacts, immediate stars, immediate, this and that. But that's not the case. The NBA is still at a place where they are developing guys to play basketball at that level. And that's what's happening with Evan Mobley. If there's no way that you can look objectively at Evan Mobley today and say he's the same player offensively that he was as a rookie, right? So they're doing different things. Evan Mobley he's not going to be the guy who demands the ball. He's not going to be the guy who demands that he gets a certain amount of touches. That's not his personality. So if that's what you're looking for, it's never going to happen. But there's growth, man. He leads the leagues in dunks right now. His growth is shown in other areas. Yeah, he may not ever become a 35, 40% three-point shooter, but he doesn't have to, right? He's able to bring the ball, push the ball off the rebound. So he's getting rebounds now. He's pushing the ball up. He's averaging a career high in assists. Like, it's okay. He may not ever become a 30 point a night scorer, and that's okay. His ceiling may be 20 and 12, 20 and 10, 20 and 13, 14 rebounds and stuff like that. But he's also going to give you 3-4 assists. He's giving you the elite defense. So, I think people just want him to be the 35, 30 point a night guy. And that may not ever be him. And that's okay. That's okay.
I kind of agree. I think Evan Mobley, he's making strides. And like you said, he was only 19 when he came in the league. He's still developing. That actually brings me to my next question with the Cavaliers. And they want to prioritize Evan Mobley's growth. So with that being said, could you see the Cavs willing to part ways with Jared Allen if it meant bringing somebody in that could help complement Mobley?
Yeah, I mean, eventually that's going to happen. It's not a question. It's really more a question of when, as opposed to if. It's going to happen eventually. Eventually, Evan Mobley will be the 5, and there will be a stretch 4 in there next to him. Right now, again, he's still developing. So his body is still developing. He's only 22 years old. So, there's things that he's not a finished product, but in the end, he will probably play more center as opposed to power forward. So, yeah, I would be very shocked if Jared Allen finishes his contract. I think he has 3 more years on his contract. I'd be very surprised if he finishes that contract in Cleveland, unless one of them develops a consistent outside shot. If that happens, then no, there will be a chance that he could stay. But as of right now, all things considered, no, it's just a matter of when.
Okay. Speaking of that, rumors are actually swirling about. I read this report on Bleacher Report, and there are rumors swirling that Donovan Mitchell may not necessarily be happy. Is that a concern? Is that something to be concerned about, given that he's got some big money that's supposed to be coming in with his contract and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about Cleveland and our fans, we've seen guys leave. We've seen enough guys leave, and we know what that looks like. We know what that feels like and things like that. But I'm gonna say this. I think Donovan has never came out and said that he was unhappy. And the moves that the Cavs made, bringing in George Niang, signing him to a multi-year deal, that was a Donovan Mitchell move. Like, Donovan Mitchell asked for George Niang. He recruited George Niang. He recruited Max Strus. They didn't sign 1-year deals. Max Strus signed, I think, a 4-year deal. George Niang signed a 3-year deal. Like, those are things that maybe they got assurances, maybe they didn't. But I believe Donovan, it's a wait and see. If the Cavs win a championship, Donovan's not leaving, right?
I believe
if the Cavs make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's gonna be hard to leave because this is a young team and there's growth opportunities. So, they have to get on one accord. They got to get on the same page. But I'm not sold that Donovan wants to leave, and I'm not sold that he should leave or should be. It's a tough thing. He's never said, "Yo, I want to get out. I want out." And so that's the main thing. And I think instead of looking down the line of what could happen potentially this summer or next trade deadline, in 2025, that's still that's a year and a half away to where it's a must. But instead of looking at that right now, man, I think we should just focus on let's just get better this year and see where we can go this year and what we can do.
I think last year, man, that early playoff exit, a lot of people thought that we would win, but I'm like, what, we're still young, we're still growing. So a lot of people are screaming, fire Bickerstaff, fire Bickerstaff. I've heard people even scream fire Bickerstaff this season. I'm like, he took y'all each year. We went to the play-in tournament the year before last, went to the playoffs last year. We're still, it had some injuries earlier on this season, but it seems like everything is starting to come full circle. Players are getting healthy. Darius Garland is playing out of his mind. What would you say, as far as what would you give Bickerstaff as on a grading scale?
On a grade, yeah, that's a good one. I probably would say I'll probably give him a C, man. I think he's been average. I think there's things that he could that have worked well, and I think that there's things that could be better. He's got what he's got. And I think that there's different opportunities to improve, and it may be like a C plus. It'd be like a C plus. I don't because I don't think he's nearly as bad as what a lot of people, a lot of fans think. I also don't think he's great, but I don't think he's a negative in that regard. I think he's just average. Could you do better? Yes. Could you do worse? Absolutely.
Exactly. Now, last question regarding the Cavaliers, and then we're gonna move on. We got Detroit tonight. I just looked up a stat. Detroit has not won a game in the month of November. So
Right.
This is an opportunity to, wash the bad taste out of your mouth from Portland the other night. How do you think the Cavaliers are going to approach this game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Portland loss is a big deal because you're not supposed to lose to a team like that when you have aspirations. At the same time, it's the NBA, man. That kind of stuff happens. Do I think that the Cavs will lose to Detroit tonight? No, I don't. Would I be shocked? Yeah, I'd be kind of shocked. Would it? But is it something that I think would be like this is going to derail the season? No. Like we're just now in December. We still have all of December until April, for these guys to get it right. And they have not one game. We're 19 games into the season. They're 10-9. Not one time during this season have they had all of their guys healthy, right? I know people say, well, Ty Jerome is not going to play a lot. Yeah, he's a backup point guard. He's not going to play a lot, but he's not been healthy when all year. He played the first game and he's been out since. They haven't had Ricky Rubio. They may not get Ricky Rubio this year, but they haven't had Ricky Rubio. So they've had somebody out. Like against Detroit tonight, Karis LeVert is going to be out. Like it's always something, and I think that goes into it. You don't know who's playing. You don't know what's going on. And I think that a part of that goes into it. But no, I don't think they'll lose to Detroit. And I don't think the house is burning down. I think they'll be all right.
Okay. All good, man. Cavaliers and Detroit play tonight. Moving on. We covered the Cleveland Charge. Last night, they were up by as many as 17. Sioux Falls Skyforce came back and won by 4. I really like this Charge team. I really like Imani Bates. What do you think? I know Imani Bates is only a rookie and he's only 19 and he's still growing, still developing into that player that he'll be strictly Cavs at some point. But what do you think Imani Bates could do to, continue to improve and finally, be strictly, a Cavalier?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's development. I mean, the thing with Imani is, again, he's 19. He's young. He don't even weigh 200 pounds. And I know everybody sees the name and they know, what he did in high school and everything, and they're looking for that. And it's not to say that, he can't become that. But right now he's not a finished product, and he's struggling in the G League, which is yes, he's putting up points. I get that, but it's not a dominant, last night he had 33 points, 10 of 22, 5 of 15 from 3. Like it's not dominant though. It's not like he's like clearly the best player on the court. There are moments when you see like, oh no, that's bad. He's a rookie. He's a young player. He's a 19-year-old kid. Oh, he doesn't have any strength. Oh, getting to the rim is a little difficult for him. It's not a knock on him. It's just what it is right now. Once those things start ironing themselves out, he'll be fine. But right now they're still there. So, yeah, I'm excited about him as well. I would love to see him with the Cavs as well. But, I like the Cavs approach. Take your time, let them develop, let them spend some time in the G League, play 35, 40 minutes a night, and then learn things, learn the NBA game, and learn how to be a professional. I think it's going well.
I think it's going well for him too. I mean, I really, Isaiah's developing. Sharife Cooper is like one of my favorite players in the G League, man. I mean, I've watched him at Auburn. Comes from a basketball family. Can you talk a little bit about Sharife Cooper? And we asked him, I remember you asking him last season, man. Being looking forward to that call up. I would really like for him to get an opportunity because I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, I've told Sharif publicly and privately, like I've told him, like, bro, I think you're the best. You're one of the top point guards. You're one of my favorite players to watch on a regular basis. I mean, I make no mistakes. You know, I tell everybody I like Sharif. I think that there's a narrative around him, you know, with his size and some of his limitations and things like that. But as far as I'm concerned, there's a place in the NBA for Sharif Cooper, you know, and I'll say that forever. You know, yeah, is he going to be a star in the NBA? Maybe, maybe not. But there's a place. There's not 420 players better than Sharif Cooper. I
I don't
stand on
think
that.
so either. I agree completely. I think
Yeah,
Sharif
stand
is,
on that.
I think Sharif is one of the best players, man. He's averaging well over 20 a game. I think Sioux Fall did a good job, you know, defensively of because I mean he's sort of the anchor of the offense for the Charge. So I think Sioux Fall did a good job of taking him out of his game and you know getting him off teeter for lack of a better term. Going into this is the early part of the G League season. So from what I understand, a lot of people don't know how the G League season works, but these games initially are sort of kind of like preseason in a way. Is that a fair assessment?
No. So until December 18th, in the G League. So when the G League starts in late October, and then until December 18th, you're playing for what's the G League Showcase. The G League Showcase is when all of the teams go down to. They're going to be in Orlando this year. All of the teams go down and they play. Now, if you did not make the showcase and you're not competing for the Showcase Cup, you still go down. You play 2 games, but if you're going to be competing for the Showcase Cup, it's basically like a tournament style. Um, it's their version of the in-season tournament.
Okay.
I mean, it's their version. It's different, a lot different, but you know, it's just a way that all of the G League officials, a lot of NBA officials, a lot of different teams, excuse me, they're in the same area, in the same space. And so scouts and things like that, it's a different eye on you and things like that. And then the actual G League, so I mean, you can call it a preseason, 2-month preseason, I guess. But these games count towards that. And then after that, after the 22nd, when that concludes, when that's over, then the G League season starts. And then that's how you get into the playoffs. And that'll go until March. So it's kind of 2 seasons in one.
Okay. Now, last year the Charge did make the playoffs and they made it to the second round. I couldn't remember if they made it to the second round, but I definitely want to see the Charge build on that success, and they got some new pieces. I asked Zhaire Smith, one of the unsung heroes, him and Pete Nance. Can you talk about a little bit about what they bring to the Charge as well?
Yeah, I mean, Zhaire brings toughness. He's been around. You know, these guys they can all play. I mean, you know, I think a lot of people they think that the G League is some lesser league or anything like that. You know, these are NBA games. You know, these are NBA games, and there's NBA players in the G League. So, you know, Zhaire, I think, is one of the guys who, you know, he's a developmental guy. He's got things that he can absolutely work on. But he's fine. You know, he's good. He's a good player, solid player, defensive guy. He brings a level of toughness. He can shoot a little bit from the outside, you know, and he's working on his game. You know, same for Pete. Pete is he's young player, but he's a seasoned. He played 4 years in college at North Carolina. You don't play at North Carolina if you suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so you know, good player. You know, he may never play in the NBA. Maybe he gets an opportunity, but he may not. But that's okay. Like these guys can make a lot of money, you know, overseas and things like that. So, you know, they're just good players that bring a different dimension to the Charge. And you know, I like them. I like talking to them. I like playing, like watching them play. They're good guys.
Good guys, man. One final question, man. I'm just gonna ask who you think is better, Isaiah or Evan?
Oh well, you know it's crazy. Well, let's answer. The answer is Evan. Evan is better. But I will say, man, there's something to be said. Isaiah, if Evan had Isaiah's skill set. I think Isaiah is more skilled than Evan, but I think Evan is, I mean, not I think, Evan is just naturally more gifted than Isaiah. But as far as skill level, Evan has more skill. You know, offensively, he is more skilled. If Evan had Isaiah's skill, then we would never talk about, well, why is Evan not doing this, and why is, you know, we would never have those conversations.
Right.
So yes, Evan is better, but Isaiah does have more skill.
We always thought that Isaiah was the better shooter, but I always thought Evan was just a better all around player. Like it's, you know, I like to, you know, I always want to say I want to see them play 1-on-1 just to see, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of both of their game.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, Evan is taller. He weighs more, like, you know, arm length more. He got everything. You know, he got the total package, whereas Isaiah had to hone his skills and things like that. So defensively, Evan is light years better than Isaiah, but offensively is a lot closer. Isaiah's more skilled, but you know, Evan is not a bum, and that, you know, that's why I want to tell people, like, Evan's not a bum. He's just not. He may never ever end up being the 25 point a night guy. You know, he might always be 22, 23. That might be that might be the sweet spot. So, you know, and that's okay, you know, because he's going to be elite defensively, and, you know, so he'll be all right. He'll be all
right. All right, man. Jason Richardson, man, beat writer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Cleveland Charge. Thank you so much, man, for your support and coming on the show, man. I really appreciate you.
Anytime, man. Like I said, man, I'm very, like, again, man, I can't state it enough, man. I'm happy. I'm happy for your growth, man. Congratulations. Keep going. You know, we need more people like you in media. And, you know, you already know, man, I'm a phone call away for you, man. So
yeah, you already. Exactly,
you know.
man. And vice versa, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it, man. I'm Rico McGee. This has been the 500th episode of the Sports Minute. And as always, we'll see you in a minute. Rico McGee, man, episode 500 of the Sports Minute, man. You know what it is. You know what's going on. I had to bring back my brother from college. If y'all don't remember, man, we talked earlier this year during the NBA playoffs. Diehard Cowboys, diehard Lakers fan. We're going to talk about it. He wants to talk about how his Cowboys is doing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm Booker.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Happy to be here, man.
Man, thank you for coming back, man. I really appreciate it.
Likewise, likewise.
So we're going to get right into it, man. Let's not delay this, man. Your Dallas Cowboys getting it popping right now. I mean, Trevon Diggs' injury was scary, and a lot of people were concerned, but you guys seem to have weathered the storm, and now you're sitting. You got the Seahawks Monday night. You're second in the NFC East. Your record, you guys are 8-3 this year. How you feeling? How you feeling about Dallas from the fans' perspective?
From a objective fans' perspective,
right.
I just want to throw that out there because everyone wants to jump on the Cowboy fan base as if we're delusional, but we're really not. You know what I'm saying? If you're a true fan of your team, you definitely want to see your team to get where? To the Super Bowl, or if it's the NBA, the finals every year. So you can't call Cowboy fans delusional. So I'm going to just say objective. And as a fan right now, I feel real good. I knew we were deep before the season. We had outstanding defense. We brought everybody back. And the only key that I had was to make sure everybody stay healthy. And unfortunately, like you mentioned, Diggs went down. That hurt. But I knew DaRon Bland was, you know, he was pretty good. He came in last year as a rookie, made some interceptions. We also have a free safety. I think his name is Isaiah Mokumara, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I knew we was pretty deep at that position, and then we brought in Stephon Gilmore. So I was like, all right, we're good. We just got to see how Bland react. You know, a lot of pressure on him. Diggs is big shoes to fill, you know. We're talking about a ball hawk. So, you know, I just wanted to see, and I want to give credit to the Cowboys secondary coach, Al Harris.
Okay.
He used to play for the Packers. He played under Mike McCarthy. Since we got him, man, we had no issues. I remember years ago, we could not stop the pass. So bringing him in the last couple of years, you see that change. We just
Mhm.
ball hawks. We taking the ball away, you know. So to answer your question, man, I feel pretty good about the Cowboys, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that first time y'all played the Eagles, that was a close game. A lot of people felt that was a game that the Cowboys should have won, but
absolutely.
they're really probably your toughest opposition. I mean, you done ran through the Giants. You're probably going to run through Washington again when y'all meet up.
Yeah.
I think you guys play Washington last week of the season.
Yeah. We
Okay.
got Philly coming up. We got the Seahawks tonight in a
Yeah.
few hours. And you see I'm game day ready. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. But just piggyback on that, the Eagles, they're playing good ball right now. We
Yeah.
can't deny that. But when we played them in Philly, a couple calls could have went our way, but it's a game of inches and you got to execute down the stretch. I felt like we had a number of opportunities to win that game on the road. We had them on the ropes and, I think we got nervous. We was in that game. Dak stepped out of bounds. He threw the ball, short below the goal line. So I was a little heartbroken over that, but we got them in a few weeks. I think we got them next Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, December 10th. It's going to be a good game, man. It's going to be a good game. And that's what I'm really looking for. The Cowboys are beating the teams they're supposed to beat. And normally they don't do that. They will lose to like the 0-6 Jets or the 1-3 teams. They're blowing them out and they're beating them, convincingly. So I want to see us win the big game. So whatever we do in the last couple of weeks, I want to see us win the big game.
That's really all y'all got to do for real. Like, as far as Dallas is concerned, man, as far as the Eagles, Eagles just keep finding ways to win. I mean, they are the best team in the NFC right now, but I mean, you can't really sleep on Dallas. You can't sleep on the Cowboys. I mean,
absolutely.
Dallas is crazy. I mean, you just can't say enough about Dallas defense and, doing what Dallas is supposed to do. Because like you said, a couple of years ago, Cowboys would have found a way to lose a couple of these games.
Exactly.
Against the Commanders. Now you got another game against Seattle. And Seattle really has had a knack for turning the ball over. They've turned the ball over a lot lately. I mean, I know Geno Smith hasn't been 100%. He's turned the ball over. I mean, then they got obliterated. They didn't get completely obliterated last week against San Francisco in the Thanksgiving game, but they still didn't come out looking good. And, my question is, how do the Cowboys weather that storm should Seattle come out strong? Because Seattle did come out strong in that second half last week.
Well, you just mentioned, man, that defense. 11 from heaven. Micah Parsons, man. Anytime you can rush the quarterback under 2 seconds, under 3 seconds, that's hard. That's hard to game plan against, And he is the catalyst of the team. Once he get going, I feel like everybody follows suit. Once he set the tone, the rest of the guys join in and they play to a high level. They kind of backed him up when it comes to him rushing the quarterback. So Michael Parsons, man, and I'm looking for Dak to maintain to look like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man. He's been playing real well. He understands what's at stake. He know that everybody's saying, yeah, the Cowboys is winning, but you're beating the Commanders. Yeah, you're winning, but you're beating the Giants. So I think Dak has grown a lot since we came off our last offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. And now we got Mike McCarthy as the head coach, and he's kind of molding Dak to be his own man and to dominate. And, you're seeing it week in and week out. And, it's as a Cowboy fan, objective Cowboy fan, it's a beautiful thing to see, man.
Right. Listen, Dak Prescott, 2,935 yards, 23 touchdowns, the 6 interceptions. He has a QBR rating of 107.4. Granted, yes, they say he's doing this against bad teams, but you really can't play nobody but who's in front of you. So if your team sucks and they got to face the Cowboys and Dak Prescott goes off, it's not Dak Prescott's fault if your team is trash. You just got to figure out how to step up and put a stop to that. So I just want to mention one more thing. They asked him that, and I was watching a press conference earlier today on my way home from work, and he said that, anytime you come in and play Dallas, if you see the Dallas Cowboys on your schedule,
you're going to play hard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure every time which the opposing team goes into Dallas, Dallas going to get their best punch. So, you know, they're not just coming in with those 1-4 records. They're actually playing their hardest, you know, and Dak is overcoming that. It's playing really well. So you got to give him credit.
Now, here's a question that I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. A lot of people seem to have issue with the Cowboys fans, and you have a lot of people that tune in just to watch the Cowboys lose, just to throw shade at the fans. What do you think it is that people have NFL fans have such an issue with the Cowboy fans?
Come on, man. It's just like, you know, and I know we're going to talk about my guy a little bit later, but it's just like LeBron James, man. It's the entertainment, the excitement, the news that come with it, you know, the showcase, the stadium, the colors, like, and I'm just speaking from a Cowboy fan. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And that's no knock on nobody. You know, when the Cowboys come on, you know it's going to be some type of entertainment, you know?
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. You like, I got to see. So, you know, it's pretty cool. And I think Jerry has done a great job of marketing those Cowboys and making sure they steal a lot of headlines. But I think now that he's getting older and more wiser, he's more focused on winning, man. And to add on to that, Jimmy Johnson, the head coach we had in the early 90s that led us to 3 of those 5 Super Bowls, he is now going into the Ring of Honor this year. So
probably should have been in. I'm going to be honest with you.
Exactly. 30 years. This is 30. Yeah. We're talking 30. I'm 34. I'll be 35. So that lets you know how long it's been since the Cowboys, you know, had that black cat roaming around the organization. So now that Jerry has overcome his, you know, his personal demons and, you know, became humble, he's winning games, everybody's healthy, things are flowing. Bring Jimmy Johnson into the Ring of Honor, man, and let's go ahead and hold that, you know, that Lombardi trophy, man. So
yes, sir. I mean, couple of big games to close out the season. I mean, you got Philly, you got Seattle tonight. Excuse me, I said they had Seattle Monday night. They got Seattle tonight.
Yep, tonight.
Then you got Philly. You got Philly next Sunday. Then we got the rest of the schedule. Hold on one second.
Then we got the Bills.
You got Buffalo the 17th. You got the Dolphins Christmas Eve. Then you got the Lions New Year's Eve weekend before you close out the season against the Commanders.
Yep.
You got a tough slate. The last
exactly
your last 5 games are against teams with winning records that are probably going to go to the playoffs. 2 of those teams are probably going to clinch the division. Detroit's probably going to wrap up the NFC North. The Bills and the Dolphins, one of those teams are going to win the AFC East.
Right.
To close out this conversation, I'm going to give my thought right quick. I think, you know, your defense is going to have to step up big, especially when you got to go on the road and face Tua on Christmas Eve. Tua Tagovailoa, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's probably I think he's the NFL's passing leader right now. Or he was the passing leader. He was over 3,000 yards the last time I checked. I didn't get a chance to check the stats as of yet, but let's look at his stats. Hold on. I'm sorry. Should have had
You're good. You're good.
Darn it.
You're good.
Yeah, 3,100 yards, 22 touchdowns, to 10 interceptions. Has a QBR of 103.7. It's Dak Prescott slightly better than Tua. I think the key to closing out this season is going to be defense. And especially when you got to play the Dolphins and the Lions. And Dak Prescott's going to have to be on his game because that Lions defense is going to be nasty.
Like, hey, just to add on to what you're talking about, that Prescott has to play well. Hey, we're looking at 2,935 yards, 70% completion percentage, 23 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That's what I want to see. And I want to see Dak continue to grow, get better down the stretch as you play these big teams, these playoff caliber teams, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Lions. if Prescott 4 and Dak we trust, control the ball, take care of the ball, don't turn it over, man. I like our chances, man. I like this Cowboy team, and like I said, I don't want to put no, unrealistic expectations on it because it's only gonna hurt my heart at the end. But I really do like this team. We're playing good ball, and usually I don't see this as a fan. We'll win some regular season games, and come Thanksgiving, we'll lose to the Commanders, like I mentioned, or the Giants. So it's pretty cool to see those guys, man, win and win convincingly as the season go down the stretch. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. So Dallas, they got Seattle, man. Best of luck to the Cowboys the rest of the season, man. We're gonna transition. Now we go to some basketball. How about them Lakers?
How about them, man?
Uh-huh.
How about him? I'll take this one off. The king himself, 21st year, he averages 25.1, averaging 7.6 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.4 steals, 0.7 blocks. Come on, man. Come on. I know people want to say the longevity and, MJ's the GOAT, Kobe's the GOAT, Kevin Durant, whoever you want to put, I totally understand. But in my eyes, seeing someone 20 plus years and to average over 20 points a game, man, that's outstanding. We never seen this before.
No,
we never.
Mm-mm.
And I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I am a diehard LeBron James fan. At the beginning of the season, in my mind, I was thinking he's gonna take a step back. But then once I see him come out the gate, still get his team, make his teammates better. He still dominate, man. He's shooting the 3-ball well this year. This is the best I ever seen him shoot the 3-ball. So that's just adding another element to his game. And I think LeBron is shaping up to win another championship, man. To make that thing closer to the ghost that he's chasing. And that's MJ.
Yeah, right. 25 points a game, like you said. Anthony Davis is averaging 12 rebounds a game. D'Angelo Russell averaging 6 assists. Cam Reddish is averaging at least 2 steals a game. They're playing some pretty good basketball right now. I mean, right now they're currently sitting. It's never too early to talk playoffs. I don't care what nobody say. Right now they're sitting currently in the 7th spot. Yep. If the season was to end today, but the LA Lakers, I think, it's to me, man. If Anthony Davis could just stay healthy, as long as AD could stay healthy and players, could stay healthy, I think they could climb the ladder. I really think they could climb the ladder. I mean, they went to the Western Finals last year and did some amazing things, man. I really want LeBron to get another ring, at least before he decides to retire. Which, side note, breaking news, his son has been cleared to play this season. His son went into cardiac arrest and everything. So he's been cleared to play this year.
That's amazing, man.
It's dope.
It's
dope. That's a dope thing, man. What do you think the Lakers have to do to, continue to keep this ball rolling? Because they are in the knockout stage of the play-in tournament as well.
Well, you mentioned a good point at the beginning of your statement. Anthony Davis, AD, he has to be more consistent. He has to be there. He has to back LeBron James up. If LeBron James, if we're in a playoff series and we're playing the Denver Nuggets or the Phoenix Suns, and you know how powerhouse those teams are and how deep those teams are, we got to match fire with fire. So if LeBron is in line to get 40 points, AD has to be somewhere around 40 or 35 for us to even have a chance. So, I'm not giving up on AD. He hurt my heart a few times early this season, but it's still early. It's still early. These guys, man, they play a lot. They travel a lot. It's a lot on their body. They got outside stuff going on. So, they just, going afloat right now, but it all boils down on AD, man. If AD can stay healthy and consistent, and we can, get D'Angelo Russell to have a game like he had last night against the Detroit Pistons, giving us 35 points, hey, you can win with that,
Oh, yeah,
you
definitely.
can win with that. You
got Oklahoma City and you got Oklahoma City tonight. You got 5 players on the team that's shooting at least 50% from the floor. So you could definitely do some things, man. I'm really, if the Lakers win this play-in tournament, man, I think that could definitely send a message to the rest of the league, like, hey, bro, we here.
Absolutely.
We here.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
We
And
here.
not to mention, man, I also like the addition of Rio Hachimura that we got at the end of last year. Teron Prince, if I'm pronouncing his name right. Big key addition. Cam Reddish, Gabe Vincent. Man, we're pretty deep, man. We just, got to get healthy. There's a couple of guys out. I think Vincent is out. Rio Hachimura is out. Austin Reed's been playing good ball. So we stay healthy and, we build that chemistry down the stretch. You know what LeBron's going to do, man. He's going to have those boys ready for championship ball. And it's always been that way,
Oh, yeah.
Just like his days in Cleveland, man. You can never count him out. If he's healthy down the stretch, I'm going with 23.
and I mean, just the things that he was able, the things that he's been able to do, and he's almost 40 years old. We've never seen nothing like this. Probably have never seen nothing like it again. I'm gonna be honest.
Ever again.
You might not want to be. This is why I never really tripped about the Kobe and LeBron debate, because if you have LeBron as your GOAT, I understand. I definitely understand, man. And I'm learning now, man, that championships aren't always everything. It just, at the same time, you play to win, in my opinion. Like, LeBron is a juggernaut in his own right, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not trying to have that debate. But, But I mean, as far as LeBron is concerned, I mean, the way he, to do what he's doing at this age, we'll never see that again. We'll probably never see this again. Never see it again.
And I know people want him to be, take over. Where's that killer instinct? And I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. LeBron should take every shot. But unfortunately, basketball don't work like that. You want to find an open man. You want to trust your teammates. All of these things, man. What LeBron is doing, it's like a marathon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just getting his guys ready for that race. He's trusting them. He's seconds at the end of the game. He's looking for Cam. He's looking for Teron Prince. That's getting those guys ready for playoff ball. So when it comes down to them hitting big shots and needing to make them, they're going to step up and knock them down because they've been doing it all season.
Exactly. And then they have the experience too. These guys have the experience. I mean, you went through Memphis, went through Golden State, stopped against Denver, but Denver was probably the best team in the playoffs last year.
Of course, and they had a training camp. They had a full training camp with that team in Denver. Just think about it. That Laker team's just formed February at the end of last season, to be honest. So for them to, get, come together at the end of February and make it to the Western Conference Finals, that's a season of success right there.
Exactly. I think the knockout stage now of the play-in tournament is going to be really, really interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see how they award the winner going forward as well. Because I'm not. First season with the in-season tournament, a lot of questions, a lot of, bugs to work out. A lot of people are confused and not really sure how it works. But we are in the knockout stages. Man, my Cavaliers didn't make it, but that's another story.
Yeah. Man, it's still early, man. It's a lot of time, man.
Right.
That's a young team, and they're going to be real good in the East this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hopefully. I mean, we're coming to form now. Darius Garland is improving as a scorer. People say that I had to think about it. A lot of people are saying that Evan Mobley really hasn't improved, but I'm like, he's improving. It's just it's slowly but surely coming together. You just got to give it some time.
Absolutely.
It's still early season. It's not even December. Well, it'll be December in a couple of hours, but it's not. We're good. Trust me, we're okay.
Absolutely. And you guys just added, Donovan Mitchell, Spider.
Yeah.
Another lethal scorer. So, it kind of took the ball out of his hands, a little bit more. But I like Evan Mobley, man. He's giving you 16.3, giving you 7.9 rebounds. Well, 10.9 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 0.8 steals, 1.9 blocks. You live with that. That is a dominant big man. If you round it up, that's a 20 and 10 guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 20 and 10 guy. You can win with that, man. And I like his game. I like that he's not one-dimensional. He got a little jump shot on him. He can get to the cup. Man, he's a solid player. And I also like Jared Allen for you guys, man. They play
Oh, yeah.
huge for the Cavs.
Yeah,
And,
they do.
Like
Yeah,
I mentioned, man, injuries are part of the game. But if you guys stay healthy, I know you got the injury bug going on right now. You guys will be fine,
to start
man.
off the season, we was a little banged up. We're feeling a little bit better now when we're playing pretty good. Side note, I interviewed Imani Bates for the rookie that we drafted. Really down to earth dude, and he's excuse me, right now he's with the Charge down in the G League, which I do cover the G League. So we're coming together with that as well. He's getting experience, on both with both teams because he signed a two-way deal. So he's in the G League, and that's where he's learning to get his offensive game together. A little, not saying his offensive game. You know what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
I say all that to say that I'm really excited for Imani Bates, man. Him, Evan Mobley's brother, Isaiah Mobley, and those are going to be some guys to look out for in the near future.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I was honored to watch Imani Banks. He was in college. This was last year. He played at the University of Buffalo, man.
Yeah.
And I seen him go for a cool 26. And it looked like he was just floating, man. I've always been a fan. I'll continue to watch him, as he come out of the G League. And I know once he get that NBA body, the grown man body, he'll be ready to go for sure.
He's still growing. Like I'm telling people, like, he's only 19. When he gets to his 4th and 5th year in the league, he's going to be scary. I'm telling y'all stuff right now. The man is going to be scary.
Yes. I've been a fan, and I can't wait, man. It's going to be really cool to watch him, transform into an all-star player, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, 500th episode of the Sports Minute, man. Malcolm, man, I appreciate you coming on the show again for a second time, man. I had to reach out to you and bring you back, man, because you're a Cowboys fan. A lot of my friends are Cowboys fans, and we might have to bring you a third time with my man Ken on because he is my man Ken, he's one of my partners, huge Cowboys fan. I would love to bring him on so you guys could talk Cowboys, man.
Hey, man. Rico, it's a pleasure, man. It's anytime you hit me up and you say, hey, I want you to come on. Hey, you already know the answer is yes. If I got the time, man, I will stop what I'm doing and we can definitely get it rolling, man. I love talking sports with you, man. I'm proud of what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Thank you.
That's I always been a fan of someone taking the steps and not just taking the elevator, man. And you're a true definition of that, man. You're taking the right steps, man, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, man. So God bless, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you, man. And I'm gonna make that happen because y'all gotta talk Cowboys, man. A lot of people hate on the Cowboys, but you're a diehard fan, so I love to get your perspective, man.
Always.
Thank you, man, for being there, man, and just coming on the show, man, and stopping what you're doing to take time out for me. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate that.
Likewise, man. This is the calm before the storm. And one more thing, man. How about them Cowboys, man?
How about them Cowboys? Thank you again, Malcolm, man. I'm Rico McGee. This has been the Sports Minute, and as always, we'll see you in a minute.